Hi, welcome to another video. Ryan is in the kitchen. If you can hear him, I apologize. This video is going to be a unhaul haul video where basically there are a few books that I've already kind of placed aside that I don't think I'm ever going to really read or reread or want to keep. And then there's some books that I recently got this year. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with just the books that I'm going to be unhauling. Some of them will probably be up on Pango Books, probably all of them, honestly. And then after a certain amount of time, I'll take them off and I'll just go donate them to my local used bookstore. Although I say that, and then I still have books up on Pango Book that I meant to do that for, and well, whatever. Point is, I will do it eventually. So, the first book is Notes from Burning Age by Claire North. I tried reading this one. I think I got like not even 10 pages in and I just wasn't into the writing style. I wasn't interested. So I decided I didn't want to keep it. It does say here though, Venn was once a holy man, a keeper of ancient archives. It was his duty to interpret archaic texts, sorting useful knowledge from the heretical ideas of the Burning Age, a time of excess and climate disaster. For in Venn's world, such material must be closely guarded so that the ills that led to that cataclysmic era can never be repeated. But when the Revolutionary Brotherhood approaches him, pressuring him to translate stolen writings that threaten everything he once held dear, his life will be turned upside down, torn between friendship and faith. Venn must decide how far he's willing to go to save this new world, and how much he's willing to lose. So it did sound really interesting. Again, I just couldn't really get into it because of the writing and stuff, and I don't know, I wasn't that interested. So it is practically brand new. All right, the next one is Piranesi by Susanna Clark. I read this one, I don't even remember when, but I didn't really like it that much. I know that it was either really loved or really not loved, and I fell more into the really not loved. It's basically a story about a guy who is stuck in this weird place with many rooms, and there's like a tide and there's some weird mystery going on. It's very strange. It's very fever dreamy, and it has an unreliable narrator. So I don't know, if you are interested in it, again, I'll have it up on Pango. It's brand new practically. I didn't do anything to this book. I did not annotate it. It is the hardcover one, so it is actually quite pretty. It's got this inside, and then the whole title is written on the book. So but yeah, I'm never gonna reread it or want to pick it up again. The next one is, I had bought it because I thought that I was gonna love it and I was gonna love the whole trilogy. So I ended up buying the first book and not buying the rest of them. It's The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So this is my copy of it, and it does have annotations in it. I know that some people don't mind annotations. I personally love annotations because it tells me what the reader was thinking, and then I feel like I can have a conversation with a previous reader. It is heavily annotated, so it has a lot of like I can just leaf through it and you'll see like there's highlights, there's moments where I write on the margins, underlining, etc, etc. So I'll have it up on Pango Books for like super duper cheap in case anyone does want it. Otherwise, it will be donated. The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. I'm currently listening to the audiobook for this. I'm enjoying it, but this is just not the kind of book that I really feel like I'm gonna want to keep. So, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's women, World War II, code breaking, you know, German codes. Pretty sure there's a romance in it. I mean, it kind of feels like there is right now. Again, I'm currently reading it, so maybe I will really like it, but I know I'm not gonna want to actually keep a physical copy of it. Historical fiction is just not really my thing, so I am going to give this away. It has a thing in here. Oh, that's right. This was from a subscription box a while ago. Well, I guess I'll include this. Probably not that. I'll include this in it. It has a note from the author, so I'll put it up there. Oh, and it has, yep, it had a signed plate thing, so that's stuck in the book as well. So if someone is a massive fan of this book, then I can just, yeah, they'll have a good time. It's practically brand new. It is technically brand new because I didn't do anything to it. So, yeah. The Ivory Key. This was from an Illumicrate box, I'm pretty sure. It was like an extra book that they put in, so it does have like the painted edges on it. I am just not interested in it. I know it's young adult, it's just not my thing. I don't even know what it's about. Veera is desperate to establish her legacy as a revered Maharani of Ashoka, But with the country's only quarry running out of magic, a precious resource that has kept Ashoka safe from conflict for centuries, she can no longer protect her citizens from the looming threat of war. Vera's only hope is to find a mysterious artifact of legend, the Ivory Key. But in order to retrieve it, she must reunite with her estranged siblings who have taken very different paths. Vera, Ronak, Caleb, and runaway Rhea each have something to gain from finding the Ivory Key, and even more to lose if they fail. But with each sibling harboring secrets, the very thing that brought them together could tear their family apart and their world for good. What?
Donut?
Donut? Yeah, we got donuts, and we just got
You got nuts? Nice.
donuts!
Oh, you got dose nuts?
Those nuts! Technically we got Sace nuts, but whatever. So yeah, I'm not really interested in reading the Ivory Key. Another one I'm not very interested in that I got, I think this was like the one and only fairy loot box that I got. It came with, again, another hardcover book that was much fancier. This is The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. Just not interested. It says, Elise is cursed every time she touches someone. She experiences how they will die. And when she predicts... What? And when she predicts but is unable to prevent her brother's death, Elise is desperate to escape her terrible gift. Then she meets Claire, a vampire, tasked with helping Elise master her rare powers and recruiting her to the Veil, a secret organization determined to protect the paranormal world at all costs. All I know about this book is that it has a lesbian relationship in it. That's all I know. I also know it's young adult and I'm not interested. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure other people would love it. I just don't think I would. Forged in the Fallout. If you saw I'm pretty sure I started this in January. Like, this was one of my January books. I was really excited about it because I was like, oh, I've been looking forward to it so much. I started it. I was annotating it. The annotations stop at like mid-chapter. They just stopped mid-chapter because I got so very frustrated. Page 44 is where they stop. It was, nope, never mind. There's one on page 48. But after that, I think that's it. Kind of gave up on it. I wasn't a big fan of it. It's like some kid who, I guess his dad is the king of dwarves or something, and there's magic going on, and then the kid didn't know any of this, and he finds out he has a sister and a mom, and like they are royalty, and there's this guy coming after them, and it sounded really cool, but the way that it was written, I could not get into it. The world building was very sporadic, I guess. I couldn't place myself in it. I couldn't get into it. So I am going to I did DNF it, and I'm gonna give it away because I don't see the point of keeping it. So again, will be on Pango Books. If it doesn't sell in a little bit, I'll just donate it. Next one is Ninth House, Lee Bardugo. I will take this sticker thing off because that just pisses me off so much. I hate it. Anyways, I listened to this on audiobook. I thought it was meh. I really liked Hellbent, but I don't own Hellbent, and I don't really feel inclined to keep this book. If you don't know, this book is about Alex Stern, a girl who can see ghosts, and she gets a scholarship to go to Yale, and she gets involved in murder mysteries and magic and secret societies and things like that. So it is very interesting. The first book, I think, was not as good as the second book. I really did like Hellbent quite a bit. So yeah, I just don't see the point of keeping this copy if I'm not gonna own the next one. And I listened to them on audiobook and they were great. And if I want to listen to them again, I'll just borrow them from my library. The X Hex, I got this from Book of the Month. I have since canceled Book of the Month for reasons. The X Hex is a romance. I was actually kind of hoping that I would enjoy it because it was supposed to be about like witches and like a spell gone wrong because they drank too much vodka. I could not fucking stand her reason for being mad at the guy though. It made no fucking sense. I'm not gonna rant about it too much because I feel like that'll take too long. But yeah, it's basically this girl who's a witch. She doesn't realize that she's very powerful. Oh my gosh, have we never seen that plotline before? And she got drunk because she broke up with a guy that she really liked, and then she accidentally put a curse on him, and then the curse transferred into the town, and it turns into a whole debacle. I didn't really like it that much. I didn't think it was that interesting. It was pretty cringe. Again, I hated the main character. I hated her reasoning for not liking him. Like he told her, he was open. He communicated with her, and she was mad. So I didn't like it. So I'm getting rid of it, but I don't think I annotated anything in this. It is annotated, so if you are interested with how upset I was with this main character, you might like my annotations. And the final one is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This one is the Waterstones edition, which basically is a classic hardcover edition, except it's got black edges. Black edges are a little fucked up here, like there's a little part here that isn't fully painted, but otherwise it's very pretty. And I did annotate parts of it. About halfway through the book, when I started just kind of giving up on enjoying it at all, I stopped annotating. Like there are little parts here and there that are annotated. All of my annotations, by the way, are in pencil, so if you don't like them, you can just erase it. But yeah, if you've seen my review of this, I didn't love it. I thought it was quite boring. It's basically a kid who's taken from China, and he is raised in England to be useful, where he knows English and Cantonese and Mandarin, and so he can be used to translate, and translation is used kind of like as a magical enhancer in this historical fantasy book. And it's just boring. Yeah, there's a revolution, but you don't really see the revolution, and there's just a lot of studying and school and things like that. So if you want, you know, this copy, then go for it. I don't think I really shit on it as hard as I probably did in my review, or, you know, my annotations don't shit on it as hard as I did when I talked about it. Anyways, those are all the books that I am unhauling. I'm taking them off my shelves. I'm also realizing that I probably should redo my shelves someday. I don't know how to have nice shelves. I don't know how to do that. But now I want to talk about the books that I have recently acquired. A few of them I bought myself. About 4 of them Ryan got for me, and 1 of them I got for free. The first one, whoa, let me throw my books. The first one is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I have been wanting to read this one for a while. It's not very long. It kind of looks like a, you know, IKEA magazine type of thing. And it says in here, something strange is happening at the Orcs Furniture, okay, let me try that again. Something strange is happening at the Orcs Furniture Superstore in Cleveland, Ohio. Every morning, employees arrive to find broken curing bookshelves, shattered glans, water goblets, and smashed Leary Pip wardrobes. It's those weird freaking names that IKEA puts on their furniture. Sales are down, security cameras reveal nothing, and store managers are panicking. To unravel the mystery, 3 employees volunteer to work a 9-hour dusk till dawn shift. In the dead of the night, they'll patrol the empty showroom floor, investigate strange sights and sounds, and encounter horrors that defy the imagination. A traditional haunted house story in a thoroughly contemporary setting, Horror Store is designed to retain its luster and natural appearance for a lifetime of use. Pleasingly proportioned with generous French flaps and a soft cover binding, Horror Store delivers the psychological terror you need in the elegant package you deserve. That's a great description at the end. I haven't read that before. So yeah, I'm excited. It's got like even the instructions on how to like build a piece of furniture, but it's probably it's got like weird like Q&A things. I don't know. I kept looking at it. I've been wanting to read it for a while. I do like Grady Hendrix as an author. I really loved his, what was it again? Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I loved that book. I didn't like the other one, How to Sell a Haunted House, as much, but I mean, I can still appreciate how he writes things. I just didn't like that one because it had tropes I didn't enjoy. I might as well show the other one by him. So I got another book by the same author, which is My Best Friend's Exorcism, which is a very popular one. And it should be quite self-explanatory. I love how this book is supposed to look like if you look at it like this, it's supposed to look like a cassette tape. I love it. High school sophomores Abby and Gretchen have been best friends since 4th grade. But after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening whenever she's nearby. Abby's investigation leads her to some startling discoveries, and by the time their story reaches its terrible conclusion, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question. Is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? Like an unholy hybrid of Beaches and The Exorcist, My Best Friend's Exorcism blends teenage angst, adolescent drama, unspeakable horrors, and a mix of 80s pop songs into a pulse-pounding supernatural thriller. I must say, teenage angst is not my favorite thing and adolescent drama is not my favorite thing, but I am still excited to read this. I've heard really good things about it. House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. It's the same author who wrote the Year of the Witching, which I read and I really liked. It's very goth, like it's just blood and darkness, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So I saw that they wrote a new book and I figured I'd get Ryan to buy it for me. Marion Shaw has been raised in the slums where want and deprivation are all she knows. Despite longing to leave the city and its miseries, she has no real hope of escape until the day she spots a peculiar listing in the newspaper seeking a blood maid. Though she knows little about the far north, where wealthy nobles live in luxury and drink the blood of those in their service, Marion applies to the position. In a matter of days, she finds herself the newest blood maid in the notorious House of Hunger. There, Marion is swept into a world of debauchery, and at the center of it all is Countess Lisavette. The Countess, who presides over this hedonistic court, is loved and feared in equal measure. She takes a special interest in Marion. Lisavette is magnetic, and Marion is eager to please her new mistress. But when she discovers that the ancient walls of the House of Hunger hide even older secrets, Marion is thrust into a vicious game of cat and mouse. She'll need to learn the rules of her new home and fast, or its halls will soon become her grave. It sounds so good. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. So I got a lot of horror. There's only one fantasy book in this one. I'm trying, like, fantasy always seems to be like series, and I want series to be finished, and then I want to be able to read the first book, and if I like it, then I'll buy the rest of them. Whereas horror, I'm like, I feel like those tend to be easier for me to buy because it's just one book, and usually I will like them. Well, I can't say that. There are a few horror books I haven't liked. The next book is technically a manga. Well, it is a manga, and it was for me, but also for Ryan. So it's called Inspector. This is the first volume, and Ryan watched the show. I think he completed the show. Did you complete the show? Oh, where the fuck is he? I think he completed the show. But he wants me to read it because he wants to know, you know, if it is kind of the same, I guess. But he also, I was like, I don't know if I want to buy it though. And we went to Barnes & Noble and he found the first volume. It's like the only one he could find. And he was like, we're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting it. So hopefully it's really good because then if it is, then maybe I will buy the rest of them and it'll be our first ever physically owned manga series. Inspector says, the 17-year-old Kodako has a unique situation. When she was a child, she was kidnapped by spirits called yokai and returned missing one leg and one eye. Since then, she has been able to communicate with otherworldly forces, both benevolent and dangerous. Kodako is alone in her power until she learns that the crush she's watched from afar, oh god damn it, it's got love interest. Of course this is what Ryan wanted. The crush she watched from afar, Kuro, has his own encounter with yokai. As if being touched by the supernatural wasn't enough, Kuro's personal life is also in shambles. With their shared experiences and understanding, Kodako and Kuro form a partnership to deal with mysteries, from ancient demons to the ghost of an idol. But for a girl who's used to dealing with spirits, winning love might prove to be the bigger challenge. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, I didn't know that was the summary of it. This is my first time reading the backs of these, by the way. Ryan told me that it was like a girl who can see spirits and it's like a Sherlock Holmes type of inspection thing. He didn't tell me that it's mostly about a girl just trying to, deal with a crush. Oh, I'm not sure I'm gonna like that. We'll see. I'm still gonna give it a chance because Ryan wants me to. Next book. I got this one a while ago, but I wanted to add it to this list of books that I've recently acquired because, well, it should be added in here. Anyways, it's called A Dark and Secret Place by Jen Williams. Jen Williams is the author of The Ninth Reign, which is a fantasy trilogy that I fucking love. And she's been writing a lot of horror books lately, which I am totally down for. There's another one coming out too, which is, I think, what is it titled, again? Something like Good Girls Don't Lie or something like that. I don't remember. If I find it, I'll just put a picture up. So this one says, when prodigal daughter Heather Evans returns to her family home after her mother's baffling suicide, she makes an alarming discovery. Stacks and stacks of carefully preserved letters from notorious serial killer Michael Reeve. The Red Wolf, as he was dubbed by the press, has been in prison for over 20 years, serving a life sentence for the gruesome and ritualistic murders of several women across the country, although he has always protested his innocence. The police have had no reason to listen, yet Heather isn't the only one to have cause to re-examine the murders. The body of a young woman has just been found, disemboweled and placed inside a tree, the corpse planted with flowers, just as the Red Wolf once did. What did Heather's mother know? How did she kill herself? And with the monstrous Red Wolf safely locked inside a maximum security prison, who is stalking young women now? Teaming up with D.I. Ben Parker, Heather hopes to get some answers for herself and for the newest victim in this depraved murder. Yet to do that, she must speak to Michael Reeve and expose herself to truths she may not be ready to face. Something dark is walking in the woods, and it knows her all too well. What if her mom is the murderer? I don't know. I'm interested in that. Bless you. And the final book that I am mentioning here, I got it for free. I was super excited. I did like a whole post on Instagram about how happy I was about getting it because the author was an indie author, and I read their book when I heard about it. Absolutely loved it. And I've been eagerly awaiting the second book. And he was very quiet on like social media and stuff, not mentioning anything about his book, probably because he couldn't. But he got a signing with Orbit, so he wasn't able to say anything. So the first book is getting republished in May, and the second book is, I think, supposed to come out maybe in August or something. But anyways, he sent me a copy of it's an arc of the new cover, and I'm probably gonna reread it. I'm still gonna buy my own copy as well. I love this book. So The Lost War by Justin Lee Anderson says on the back, "The war is over, but the beginnings of peace are delicate. Demons continue to burn farmlands, violent mercenaries roam the wilds, and a plague is spreading. The country of Aiden is on its knees. In a society that fears and shuns him, Aranok is the first mage to be named King's Envoy, and his latest task is to restore an exiled foreign queen to her throne. The band of allies he assembles each have their own unique skills, but they are strangers to each other, and at every step across the ravaged land, a new threat emerges. Lies are revealed, and distrust threatens to destroy everything they are working for. Somehow, Aranok must bring his companions together and uncover this conspiracy that threatens the kingdom before war returns to the realms again." Yay. I just love this new cover. Hold on, let me go get the other book so you can see the difference. Is the new cover, right? This was the old cover. I mean, I like them both a lot. I'm just happy this author is getting published through Orbit. Like, it can be good to get published by a big publisher, and it sometimes maybe not. Like, I don't think you make as much, but at least it gets more like, what is it? Not publishing, what am I talking about? More marketing. Huh? Publicity. Thank you. It gets more publicity, more people will pick it up. I hope more people will pick it up. So yeah, I was just really excited when I got this arc. I didn't expect it. He put something on a post and he was like, if anyone wants one of these copies, just message me. I was like, oh my god, I'd give anything. And he's like, all right, sure, I'll just message my editor or whatever, my agent. And I was like, okay. And then it just arrived in the mail. I was like, oh. So yes, that's a bunch of books. Once again, if you're interested in any of the books that I am unhauling, I will put them up on Pango Books. They'll be up there for probably a little while. And yeah, I don't know when I'll get to these new books. I'm probably gonna try and get to Horror Store soon. That's it. Bye.
Seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on.